on the train?
I grew up in Miami, born and raised in Miami. I grew up on 67th Ave for the majority of my life. It was, I'm not gonna say it was a rough neighborhood, but we have some roughnecks there. So, you know, it taught me a lot being on the block as a young kid. I grew up right on the avenue. My mom's, her house is on the main avenue, so as soon as I walked out my front door, I was in the thick of it. I didn't really run with too many cliques, you know. My clique was always from a young age was 67th Ave and 67th Ave boys because it was my neighborhood, the people I grew up with. You know, I always got in trouble for fighting as a kid from elementary school to middle school to high school. It got me expelled and arrested. From there's when I went to juvenile hall. You know, fighting was always a problem for me as a kid, and I was never a bully. I was never out there picking on people or anything like that. It was just I was always a protector of my friends, and I was always very hot-headed. You know, at anything I would like to, my way of solving things was to fight. You know, like I said, I fought a lot, never bullied anybody. When I saw people getting bullied, I'd go against the bully. I just had that in me. And you know what? My name is Ulysses. And growing up, I never really liked my name. I didn't, you know, people butchered it in school and everything. And then as I grew up and I found out about who Ulysses was, the Greek warrior, the Greek god, Odysseus, that went through this battle and this, you know, this thing he had to go through. I feel like I grew into my name, and it's this weird feeling of like, you know, that was, you know, how people say you know, you lived a life maybe back then that you didn't know about, and I feel like I was that warrior. Like I went to Troy and I fought, and I was the only guy to survive, and I wear that warrior spirit with me always since I was a kid, you know. My mom was my role model, still is to this day. You know, my mom is my best friend. My mom is my right-hand man, you know, right-hand woman. When, you know, she had me, she had already broken up with my father, so I never got to meet him till I was a little older, and then really never got to hang out with him till I was a grown man already with kids myself. You know, growing up, like a lot of people without fathers did, and you know, your mother, my mom was young when she had me. We grew up together. She blames when everything, you know, what happened at the time, she would tell me, oh, you're just like your dad. So you develop this anger and this hate for somebody that you don't even know. You know, so it was, and I would lash out violently.
It's hard for this moment. This is why we run all those miles. This is why we sparred as much as we did. This is why we did what we did, so now we can put it on display. You did everything you needed to do. Now it's gonna pay dividends. Now you're gonna take him to where you were at.
Red rum.
Turn up the heat.
You know what, when I talk about prison, I wouldn't say it was a low point. I would think it was a life-changing thing that happened to me at a young age. I went there when I was 23 years old. I was a very young man, had 2 kids already. I put myself there in a sense. I could have avoided prison in many different aspects, but I always went towards it for some reason. To show myself that I had it in me for some reason back then, you know? I made this up when I was in prison. I said, when I talk about prison, it's never to brag, it's to tell you about an experience I hope you never have. If it wasn't for prison, I wouldn't be here today. You know, while I was in the yard, I would train, I'd be boxing in the yard with Jose Guilate, Cheo, which is family to me. He's been in prison right now 37 years. I still talk to him to this day on a daily basis. Kind of brings tears to my eyes. He's like a father figure. We talked about this day 17 years ago in a prison yard. I used to talk about this day with him. You know what I mean? We used to train. He used to tell me, man, you're gonna be a world champ one day. It was great to talk about, and it was great to dream about. But then I came out of prison and I didn't follow up on none of my dreams. I trained here and there, but I went back to the street life. I had kids to try to take care of. This seemed like such a far-fetched thing at that moment. So now I talk to him on a daily basis. I go visit him every weekend in prison, man, and you know, the moment it's coming to fruition. It's amazing what you which you can manifest without knowing, as long as you just keep that in your mind and keep that in your mind and keep that in your mind, and one day something triggers, you know, and it puts you in that position, dog.
Our eyes are closed when we start this loop on repeat. Hear my chest, how it beats when you put your hands on me. Time goes fast, but yet so slow. I leave all thoughts, yeah, I let them go. 'Cause I'm here with you, and all I need is you. It's so easy to
2008, 2009, I was training for MMA, doing really good. We had a fight lined up for me. My first professional fight was gonna be for MMA, and I had a motorcycle accident. I tear my patella, I tear a bicep, gotta go through a rehab with that. About a year after that, when I'm still rehabbing, from my body being off balance from my leg and everything, I messed up my back, had back surgery, so the fighting was out the window. That was in the back burner. I wasn't even thinking about that. You know, I stopped working with Pitt because of myself. You know, I thought I was smarter than what I was. I thought the streets was giving me better opportunities than what it did. You know, I had money that you think is never gonna end. And I put myself back in a bad predicament, back in the bad cycle of bad thinking and hanging around people who are no good for you. Up until November of 2016, I was in Colorado. I was part of the gold rush, the green rush over there. You know, still part of the streets, still doing what I'm not supposed to be doing. And I had this come to God moment. I can't put it no other way. You know, I believe in God. I believe that I'm here today because of God and because of my mom's prayers. I'm not religious, but I'm very spiritual, and the name I have for it is God, because that's what I believe in. He brought me to my knees that day. The first time in my life, I was always a day-to-day guy, street dude, day-to-day. I live my life day-to-day. From the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep. This day in Colorado, November 2016, I'll never forget. I was 35 years old, and the first time I go, man, 10 years from now, I'll be 45 years old. Still trying to make a dollar like this, still trying to figure it out. Still no bank account, nothing put away. Still no safety net for me or my family. And it brought me to my knees, man, and I cried. And I said, I can't do this no more. That's it. Cannot do this to myself no more. I can't do this to the people who love me no more. I've lied to my kids their whole life. My oldest kids, you know, they grew up with me lying to them. Because I was on the street doing street things. I would make up jobs that I had. And that day I packed my stuff in Colorado, flew back to Miami, started training November, December, and right before New Year's of 2017, I told my coach, you know, Josh Dempsey, the one who nicknamed me the Monster. That was my first boxing coach when I turned pro. I go, hey man, you know, it was a bucket list thing. I wanted to take pictures, do it for Instagram, just say I did it. Finally, one time in my life, I did a professional fight. Josh, give me a fight. Are you sure? Yeah. 2-3 days later, he comes back, hey, you got a fight? January 27, 2017. That was my first professional fight, which was about 30 days or less from the time I told him. Reality check time, you know what I mean? Nut check time. Bro, I said, I gotta do it. I won't be able to sleep with myself. I won't be able to live with myself if I don't do it. Let's go. Went to Dominican Republic and won by first round knockout, and it was the biggest rush of life, the biggest high, better than any drug, anything I've ever done in my life. And here I am, less than 5 years later, fighting for a world title. I got 17 fights. I'm 16-1. I'm about to fight Thiago Alves for a world title in bare knuckle. I have the fastest knockout in combat sports history. I have amazing people around me. I have a great girlfriend. My mom has been happier than I've ever had her in her life because she sees me, I'm doing straight. My kids are ecstatic and are proud to say I'm their father. I'm living a dream and making it a reality, and it's incredible where we came from to where we're at today.
Nothing he can do to stop you from taking that belt. You
trained hard, you prepared well for this. It's your night, your moment. This is all for you. So take advantage and seize the moment. Amen.
I gotta go, bro. That's it. It's time for me to go. Take this off me, bro.
All right, Uli. This is our time. We work hard for this. Tonight, he's not going to show you anything you haven't seen already. But what he will see is the hunger in your eyes and in your heart.